What up? Yo, I've been gone for a minute, but I'm right back in it. Holla at your boy Chicken King, back with a new reaction today. This one is gonna be a little emotional for you, boy. If anybody's watched my channel before, y'all know I'm a huge Kobe Bryant fan. He's 1A, 1B, my favorite player. Him and Michael Jordan, one and the same to me. Uh, and we all know it was his birthday yesterday, and today's 8/24 Mamba Day. So I thought I'd do a little reaction to Kobe Bryant, get back into some sports here before we get back into more hip hop or movie trailers, anything of that nature. I just wanted to focus on Kobe Bryant today, celebrate this man's legacy, everything he meant to me. You know, he was a big inspiration, everything he did in his life. And it's kind of crazy that I'm doing this video, but the way he always faced adversity, it's just amazing the way this man overcame a lot within the league, from everything he had to go through with the stuff. I ain't trying to go into that too much, forget that. But the way that he just played the game of basketball, it was crazy. Like, if there's anybody I wanted to make my game after, it would be Kobe Bryant. Shoot, I wish I could have took my game as far as he did, but nah, I didn't make it that far. Played some high school ball, tried out for some college, stuff like that, but nope. It's hard. Definitely. But I want to get into this. This is the top 7 times Kobe Bryant faced adversity and how he responded. So if y'all enjoy this video, comment below. Let me know what y'all think. If y'all got any dope Kobe Bryant memories, let me know. One that obviously sticks out to me was just his going away game, his retirement game. Dropping 60, going out like that. No one's ever done that. That's not heard of. Usually they may score 15, 20 points, something like that. But for him to drop 60 in his retirement game, fire. But let's get into it and see what they're talking about here. It should be dope.
A regular season MVP, 2 finals MVPs, 5 championships, 18 All-Star selections, 4 All-Star MVPs, a 15-time All-NBA selection, a 12-time NBA All-Defensive selection, a 2-time scoring champion.
Crazy.
When people speak on the greatness of Kobe
People don't get
Bryant,
those
it
numbers.
could be easy to get lost in the mountains of accolades that he's won. But the truth is, these don't even begin to describe why Kobe Bryant will forever be on GOAT Mountain. What the man went through and how he responded in times of adversity has forever inspired and changed basketball. And because of him, the NBA has never been the same.
Never.
The first story takes us back in 1997. Kobe was only 18 years old at the time, and the Los Angeles Lakers were facing the Utah Jazz in Game 5 of the Western Conference Semis. Down 3-1.
I think this is when they gave him the game-winning shot, and he missed it. But he didn't let that falter him. The man came back stronger than ever.
The purple and gold were facing the prospect of being eliminated from the playoffs. The veteran Byron Scott was out due to an injury, Big Shot Rod was already ejected out of the game, and Shaquille O'Neal just fouled out. The game was tied at 89 with just under 2 minutes to play in the fourth, and it was Kobe's time to shine. Being one of the best to ever play the game, you'd think that the young Black Mamba took over the game at this point, but it was the complete opposite. A mid-range pull-up to win the game in the last few seconds of regulation didn't even hit nylon. Then in overtime, the trend continued as he hit 4 consecutive air balls, and that's all she wrote. Most NBA players would be devastated and wouldn't probably even want to touch a basketball for months. In fact, they'd probably go to Cancun afterwards, open a few bottles of Hennessy, and try to forget what happened as they drowned
1, 2,
themselves
3,
in alcohol.
Cancun.
But not Kobe. Instead of going to party, Kobe went to a local high school, where he hit jump shot after jump shot after jump shot until the sun started coming up. The young Black Mamba was also there the day after, and the day after that. There was no off-season. 6 months later, when the Lakers tipped off against the Jazz on opening night, Kobe scored a game high of 23 points in a 104-87 win. Our next story takes place a few years later in the 2000 finals when the Lakers faced off against the Indiana Pacers.
Oh, man. So they about to get into the story where Shaq fouled out and Kobe did take over this time. This was dope. And I don't know if y'all heard the story between Reggie Miller and Kobe Bryant when they were doing that shoot for, what was it? real raw road rules, something like that. And Kobe learned Reggie's step and then used it on him in these same finals. Man, that's fire. Kobe's just a different breed, man. Different breed.
In Game 2, as Kobe took a mid-range shot, Jalen Rose stuck his foot out. And as per Bryant, that was the worst ankle sprain of his career. Now, according
Watch college football all season long, live and cable-free.
to Google, most mild ankle sprains take about 2 weeks to heal, while the major ones take anywhere between 6 to 12 weeks.
Crazy.
While most players would have used this as an excuse to sit out the rest of the finals and just relax, Kobe didn't. He missed Game 3, but in Game 4, not only did he come back to play, but he saved the game. You see, in overtime, with about 2.5 minutes left to go, Shaq fouled out in a one-possession game.
Kobe said, "Let me take this over."
That was in serious jeopardy just 2 games ago. Kobe made clutch shot after clutch shot and won the game for the Lakers. In his book, The Mamba Mentality, Kobe said this of the sprained ankle: "I know what I could and couldn't do, which directions I could push off, and how much force I could apply. After establishing that, it was just a matter of altering my game within those constraints to continue dominating. I had to, even on one ankle, keep the advantage in my court and never let the defense force me to do something I didn't want to do. That was the key here, and that's the key always."
Always.
Another moment where Bryant faced adversity and responded was after losing the 2008 NBA Finals. I mean, instead of sulking,
You know, I'm not gonna lie, that one hurt me. You know, Lakers fan, we don't want to see the Celtics win, and the fact that the Celtics beat my Lakers, oh man, that would hurt. That would hurt. And it was like Kobe's first time going to the finals without Shaq, so I was highly invested. I wanted to see what he could do. But those dang Celtics.
around and making excuses, the Black Mamba went straight back to work and got a gold medal in the 2008 Beijing Olympics, followed by back-to-back championships in 2009 and 2010. Speaking of the 2008 Olympics, here's a story of how Kobe heavily influenced the team to win it all. At this time, Kobe wasn't too close with all the other stars in the league yet, like LeBron and Wade. But in Beijing, they were all stuck in the same hotel, and proximity started bringing them together. You see, Kobe Bryant was waking up at 5 a.m. to do his morning workouts. When D. Wade found out about this, he started going in as well, which was followed by LeBron, and then soon after, practically the whole team was working out together at 5 a.m. And it was through this experience that the kinship started between the best hoopers in the world. It was also at this time that Kobe rallied the team. You see, when you have a lineup consisting of Bryant, Wade, LeBron, CP3, and Dwight Howard, with Carmelo and Bosh coming off the bench, it could be easy to just dismiss international competition as a cakewalk. But the Mamba mentality in Kobe wouldn't let Team USA fall into that mindset. Instead, he told the team, "Look, these international players can play. Most of them choose to stay and play overseas, but these players can play, and if you do not pay attention, they will wear your ass out. Trust me, I know. I grew overseas. I've seen all these players play, and if you just sit up and just go by the eye test, you're going to be in deep shit." To show the team that he wasn't kidding around, Kobe led by example. Here's what I mean. In an early game against Spain, Bryant went to send 2 messages in one play. In one of the first plays of the game, the Black Mamba did this. The video is a bit blurry, but please bear with me. Here's Kobe chasing down his defender. And here's Pau
thank goodness
Gasol.
for that.
Gasol is going to set a screen to get his teammate open, but watch what Kobe does.
Get out of here.
In a game of basketball in the first quarter when the score was 5-4, Kobe not only tackled somebody, but he tackled the second best player on his Lakers team. Kobe later said this of the play: "It was kind of a dual message, one for our team and USA and winning this game, winning this medal, but also for Pau and understanding this is the line that you have to cross in order to be a champion." Anyways, everything Kobe did to rally the troops, to instill the message to his Olympic teammates, it was all necessary to win. I'm not sure if y'all remember, but with a little over 3 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter against Spain, it was just a 5-point game. It was anybody's game. But Kobe caught a pass from Wade and then proceeded to knock down a 3-point shot and draw a foul for the 4-point play. Then, with a little over a minute left to go in the fourth, Kobe broke down a double team and drove into the paint for the finish. Team USA went on to win the gold medal. But if Bryant had decided to skip out international play by using some excuses, such as losing the 2008 finals, it really could have been Spain that won the gold. Anyways, let's take another look at how Kobe responded to adversity. On January 19, 2009, in a game against LeBron James and the Cavaliers, Kobe dislocated his finger in the opening minutes. For most humans, they'd stop playing right there and then. And even for most NBA players, they'd be out for weeks. But Kobe, being Bryant, just got his trainer to tape his fingers together and immediately re-entered the game, scored 20 points.
That's crazy, because he did the same thing when he played the Spurs. When he brushed his finger on the ground there and went over to the bench, and the same trainer, I can't remember his name, but popped that sucker right back in, and Kobe just walked right back out and went hooping. You can see Tim Duncan like, you all right? Kobe's just a different breed, man. Just a different breed. I miss it.
Dished out 12 assists and helped his Lakers get a win over a prime LeBron James. Next off, let's move on to one of my favorite stories of when Kobe Bryant faced adversity. This one takes place in 2013. You see, this season was when the Lakers formed a super team and acquired Dwight Howard and Steve Nash to pair along with
this season and last season with LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Westbrook. Gotta be the most disappointing Lakers seasons for me. Like, I thought once we got Howard and Nash, I thought it was a wrap. But they just didn't mesh well. Yeah, that's kind of the same thing that happened last season. Except last season had more injuries. I mean, Anthony Davis was out, street clothes. And LeBron could only do so much by himself. And Westbrook was just a shell of himself. So, it's tough being a Laker fan right now. I'm hoping something happens to where they can come together and just complement each other. But it's going to be tough. But back to it.
Meta World Peace, Pau Gasol, and Kobe. They were supposed to be one of the best teams in the league, but as the season started to unfold, they quickly found out that Dwight Howard wasn't the same player that he was in Orlando, that Father Time caught up to Steve Nash, and that they just weren't a good team. I mean, the Lakers were 30-30 to start off the month of March, and with the playoffs right around the corner, Kobe and his squad were fighting for a playoff spot. At this point in time, there was no play-in tournament.
Kobe.
Every game counted, and this will forever be one of my favorite memories of one of the greatest to ever play the game. I won't go over every game, but the game against the Raptors on March 8th will forever be ingrained in my mind as the story of a man who, under no circumstances, would let his team lose. Let me show you what I mean. With a little under 2 to go in the fourth quarter.
Who knows what tomorrow will bring? Maybe sunshine and maybe...
The Lakers found themselves down 5 against Toronto. The ball's in Kobe's hands. Then, with the defender right in his face, with his hands up, Kobe did a series of fakes and head movement and forced up a tough shot and made it. Then, with about 30 seconds left, the Lakers were still down by 4. Nash had the ball out of bounds, passed it to Kobe for the corner 3, who let it fly with zero hesitation.
Give me that.
Then finally, with just mere seconds left to go in the fourth quarter, the Lakers were down 3. Kobe couldn't possibly do it again, could he? Well, with a double team on him, Kobe was still able to find a gap, and guys, he tied the game up. The Lakers ended up winning that game in overtime 118-116. For the next 20 games starting from March 3rd, Kobe led the Lakers to a 13-7 record, which propelled the team into a great position to secure one of the last remaining playoff spots. He was 34 at the time, playing with an aging team that was riddled with injuries, but he didn't care. There were no excuses. He was going to get his team into the playoffs, and he did. Unfortunately, he tore his Achilles in the third last game of the season and was out for the remainder of the year. But not before sinking 2 critical free throws that eventually helped the Lakers win against the Golden State Warriors 118-116 in a game where Curry scored 47 points. The next story of how Kobe faced adversity is one that I will never forget. This game didn't have any bearing on the regular season standings, and the Lakers were not going to make the playoffs.
Utah.
Yet,
Oh,
this game had the atmosphere of a Finals Game 7. It was Kobe's very last game in a Lakers uniform in the NBA, and even though it was the same night that the Warriors were about to make history, the whole world was watching Kobe and the Lakers. Man, what Kobe did down the stretch of that game was nothing short of legendary. He had Snoop Dogg going crazy, and Kanye West looking stunned. At age 37, after 2 decades in the league, after recovering from an Achilles injury, dislocated fingers, and everything else, in a game where it looked like all hope was lost, Kobe, being Bryant, scored 60 points and secured the win. At his Hall of Fame induction, where his wife Vanessa delivered her speech, she pretty much summed up why Kobe Bryant belongs on the Wall of Greats by saying this: "People don't know this, but one of the reasons why Kobe played through injuries and pain was because he remembered being a little kid sitting in the nosebleeds with his dad to watch his favorite player play. He could recall the car ride, the combos, and the excitement of being lucky enough to have a seat in the arena. Kobe didn't want to disappoint his fans, especially the ones in the 300 sections that saved up to watch him play. The kids with the same excitement he once had. I remember asking him why he just couldn't sit a game out because he was hurting. He said, 'What about the fans who saved up to watch me play just once?' He never forgot about his fans. If he could help it, he would play every minute of every game. He loved you all so much."
Man, that's a dope one right there. Yep. That Utah game, Kobe's farewell game. Crazy, man. Yep. It was the end of an era with him leaving, I gotta say. So I'm hoping someone can pick up the torch, keep it going, just keep that mentality. Because LeBron's on his way out, and y'all know I'm not the biggest LeBron fan, but he's almost gone. And then Kevin Durant will be on the verge too, so it'll be interesting. I think my favorite player, new young player at this point in time, probably Ja Morant. He's exciting, so I gotta give him his props. But yeah, that's the video. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Like, subscribe to the page. Holla at me if you got any requests, and I'll get at y'all. I'm out. Peace.